This is Audible.
Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents The Bet by Max Monroe, narrated by Nelson Hobbs and Tanya Eby. Intro. Saturday, February 17th. Jude. I don't know what it is, but I feel like luck is in the air tonight. Well, luck and an Arctic fucking cold front. I smile at the thought, but also, with a bounce in my step, I pick up my pace to decrease the time I have to be outside in this blistery as hell winter wind. 2 blocks from my destination, my phone vibrates in my jacket pocket, and I pull it out to find a message front and center on the screen. Bianca. You busy tonight? I'd sure love some company. I grin and shake my head, typing out a quick text. Me. Sorry, honey. Working. Bianca. Frowny face. I smile. Bianca is a beautiful woman, but she's not my girlfriend or my ex-girlfriend. She's not even really a friend, if I'm being honest. She's nice and sweet, and we hang out from time to time, and she's one of a million. A million who are just as good a fit for a temporary fun time or companionship or a distraction from life's complications. Truthfully, when it comes to women, this is generally how I like to keep things. No strings attached, no relationships. Just a whole lot of fucking fun. I learned 13 years ago, after watching my eldest brother Remy get left at the altar, that it's better this way. No soul-crushing hope, no professions of love, no waiting for the one diamond that outshines the rest. Because it doesn't break my heart to turn Bianca down, and it wouldn't break my heart if she were the one to walk away. She's replaceable, and so am I. We all are. And I'm fortunate enough to live in New York, one of the biggest, busiest cities in the world, where the possibilities are endless. I weave in and out of a small crowd that's gathered outside to freeze their balls off, waiting to get into the new hot spot restaurant, Wigwam, and pull my jacket a little tighter. Even though I'm moving, the frost in this bitch tonight could just about nip the nose off Jack himself. Fuck, it's cold. Realizing I'm still holding my phone in my bare hand in the freezing air like an idiot, I slide both back inside my pocket and shove them into the depths of warmth, just above the hot hands I slipped inside before I left my apartment. The phone vibrates again, but I'm completely prepared to ignore it. Until it goes off again, and again, and again. I sigh, pull my hand back out of my pocket, and look at the screen. 5 message notifications from the group chat with my siblings sit front and center. Too curious not to check, I open up my inbox and start reading as I continue carefully making my way down the busy sidewalk. Winnie. Uncle Brad's birthday is coming up, and I am not letting all of the party and gift responsibilities fall on my shoulders again. You bastards are helping this time. Ty. But Winnie, you're so good at all of it. Winnie. Ty, I swear on everything, I will end you. Ty. Can you at least make sure you end me after you plan Uncle Brad's party and figure out what we should get him? Remy. LOL. I laugh out loud, too. I could join in on the amusement. I mean, I am the funniest and funnest sibling of all. But the entrance doors of Club Craze are so close, and the indoor warmth sounds like my current idea of a good time. Instead, I slip my phone back into my jacket pocket and focus on the priority task at hand, work. I push open the large black glass door and step inside, and instantly, the pounding beats of a popular hip-hop song fill my ears. I can't not move my head to the bass as I walk through the cavernous space and toward the back hallway where the offices and dancer dressing rooms are located. Ah, yes. I fucking love the New York nightlife. Jude! Kiki, the in-house DJ, shouts from her booth, removing one headphone to offer a wave as she continues to bop around to the catchy music. With a quick swipe of her hand, the song morphs into Do I Wanna Know by Arctic Monkeys, which she then brilliantly mixes with old-school Beastie Boys. Hell yeah! I raise my hands in the air. That's sick, Keeks! The pink-haired music pixie grins back at me, gives a thumbs up, and then adjusts her headphones, getting back to prepping music for a busy Saturday night. Since it's only a little after 7, she still has some time to get things prepared before we open the doors. But once 9 hits, Kiki's got to be ready to move and groove. Thankfully, she knows it and takes it seriously, or we would never be able to draw in the numbers we need to. And bringing in the big crowds is my job. Club Craze is brand new, but Jay Winslow Promotion is notorious for working with the hottest clubs for a reason. I need this place to bring wall-to-wall people and an even bigger personality. It has the potential to be one of my favorite hotspots in Manhattan, and if everything is done right for the launch, the owner says he'd be willing to sign a contract with my company for the nightclub promotion for the next 4 years. My job is to create the party, help people let loose, and make damn sure they want to come back and do it over and over again. For a guy like me, I can't think of a better fit. Once I'm past Kiki's booth, I take a swift right and head down the employees-only hallway. Another few feet and I spot Maverick, a relatively new friend of mine, one I made pretty easily upon finalizing the staff for this club. He walks in through the back door that leads in from the small parking lot off the alleyway on the side of the building. A gray duffel is over his shoulder, and a beanie covers his blondish-brown hair. Maverick is hilarious, a real fucking good time, and a dancer for Club Craze. Picture Channing Tatum from Magic Mike doing pony with a grinder, and you'll have a pretty good idea of what kind of dancing he does. "What's up, Winslow?" he shouts when we make eye contact. "What are you doing back here?" "Actually, I was looking for you." I wasn't. "See, I remembered you still owe me money from that playoff game last month, and figured it was high time I reminded you." I smirk, shrug, and stop to lean against the wall just outside the dancers' dressing rooms, where I know he's headed. "Of course, you cheap bastard." He throws his head back on a laugh. "Cheap bastard?" I question and put a hand to my chest. "Are you talking about me? The guy who told you the Mavericks were going to win that playoff game and you definitely shouldn't take that fucking bet?" This isn't the first time the two of us have bet on something. Surely it won't be the last either. Maverick is addicted to trying to beat me, and I'm addicted to wagers and challenges. He laughs and rolls his eyes, coming to a stop across from me. "Yeah, but the only reason you probably knew is because your sister is married to fucking Wes Lancaster. It's like goddamn insider trading." "Don't be bitter, dude. I told you not to bet against them. Hell, the team has your damn name for fuck's sake." "Whatever." He rolls his eyes at that. "What do I owe you again?" 100 big ones, I respond. "And don't try to sweet-talk your way out of it with cries of poverty. Even though you suck ass at dancing, I've seen the way women shove dollar bills down your pants. I know you're good for it." Mav waggles his brows. "You jealous, bro?" "Jealous? Of what exactly? That you spend your nights letting women fawn over the idea of your dick so you don't have to cry when they see how tiny it actually is?" "Fuck off," he retorts. "We both know there's a reason why you're the one who gets the people to the party, and I'm the one who entertains the people at the party. Only one of us has real talent." A laugh jumps from my throat. "Get real. I could dance. I could fucking dance circles around your ass. You think your tips are good? Ha! The number of tips I could pull in during one night would blow your mind. Man, I'd love to see you put your money where your big, obnoxious mouth is." He snaps back on a hearty chuckle. "There's a bachelorette party coming in tonight. It might disappoint the bride, but it'd be a fun opportunity to watch you fail." "I'd rock that bride's world." Mav cracks up. "Jude, with all due respect, You've never danced a day in your life, much less dance like I dance. You'd fail spectacularly. I waggle my brows. I can't help it. It's the thrill I'm always chasing, the high I can't seem to quit. And this bastard is going to pay for doubting my abilities. I square my shoulders and lean forward, right in his face, and ask, "Wanna bet?"
1. Sophie. Party of 10 for Sophie Sage, I tell the big burly bouncer behind the velvet rope. The man is dressed in all black and has a perpetual scowl etched across his lips, but I'm assuming it comes with the job territory. Every Friday and Saturday night, he's tasked with the responsibility of filling this club with partygoers who will have a good time, but also who won't act like total assholes. Sure, it sounds simple enough, but all it takes is standing in the never-ending line outside, in the bitter February cold, mind you, for a mere 5 minutes with people yelling and shouting toward the bouncers at the door to understand it's not simple at all. If anything, the man is being paid to deal with verbal harassment and demanding drunk idiots, all night long. Add in a constant barrage of pimple-faced teens with fake IDs and the credit card they stole when their parents weren't looking, and I'd rather rub poison ivy on my eyeballs than switch places with him. He glances down at his clipboard and then back up at me.
I take it you're Sophie?
That's right. I am her, and she is me. I respond, somewhat awkwardly, through a shivering jaw. My breath hangs in the air for a few seconds, and I tuck my arms deeper into my faux fur coat and try to keep the shivers from migrating to my knees. He moves his gaze past me to my twin sister, Belle, our elder sister, Caitlin, and then over the rest of our small group that includes 7 of Belle's closest friends, Laura, Tasha, Kirsten, Jackie, Tanya, Bree, and Devin. All of these women either went to college with Belle at NYU or work with her at MK Modeling Agency. I know some of them better than others since Belle and I spend so much time together, but these people definitely qualify as more hers than mine.
Who's the bride-to-be?
That would be this gorgeous girl right here with the sash, I comment, and step back to wrap my arm around my twin. Belle smiles, and the rest of our already tipsy group hoots and hollers, which then makes my sister bury her face in my shoulder. I giggle and give her a reassuring squeeze. All thanks to the awesome bachelorette party I planned for my sister, our group is having the time of their lives, is well on their way to being 3 sheets to the wind, and is ready to bring the night on home at our 4th and final stop at one of New York's hottest new night spots, Club Craze.
Whoa, you two are...
The bouncer begins, and I immediately recognize his intro as the precursor to what everyone says when they see Belle and me together. Identical twins, I answer for him with a knowing smile. You know, like a brunette version of the Olsons. Belle snorts, though we've never met Uncle Jesse, and we aren't recluses in our adult age. I'm half tempted to roll my eyes at the two of us, and the fact that it sounds like we give this rehearsed speech every hour on the hour, but the bouncer's reaction outshines my mental battle with self-deprecation. I don't know if this dude has never seen identical twins in person or what, but he just keeps glancing between Belle and me like we're 2 aliens that just stepped off our UFO. Our eyes may be green, but our skin isn't. At least, not yet. Maybe after a few more hours of drinking, it will be, though. Thankfully, when Tanya obnoxiously offers to show the man her G-sized tatas if he'll get us inside before they turn into literal witches' tits, he focuses back on his clipboard, and that scowl of his almost turns into a smile.
Clothes need to stay on for now, he says and shakes his head. But once you're inside and escorted into your private VIP party room, he winks at Tanya, then you can live it up in whatever way you please.
He licks his lips and mutters to himself,
I really need to think about asking for a job reassignment.
Tanya laughs and leans up onto her toes to place a drunk kiss on his cheek. Private VIP party room? Belle whispers into my ear, obviously too panicked to focus on the episode of The Bachelor, nightclub bouncer edition, taking place in front of us. I turn away from the action to give her a reassuring flick of my eyes and squeeze around her shoulders. And by the time I turn back, our previously stoic bouncer is unclipping the velvet rope and letting us inside. Hijinks with Tanya concluded. I'm a little sad to have missed some of the action, but hallelujah for warmth.
Have fun, ladies.
Hell yes. Kirsten cheers and wraps her arms around Laura's and Bree's shoulders. Drinks first, then dancing. Caitlin discreetly slips a $20 bill into the bouncer's front shirt pocket and pats him on the chest. Remember this and Tanya's boobs later when you're having to kick one of these bitches out of your club. He actually lets a full smile consume his face then, and I grab Belle's hand. Let's go, sis. Time to bring this bachelorette party on home. As I step through the large doors, a burst of hot air hits my face, and I sigh in relief. Thank goodness. The pounding beats of house music grow impatiently as we walk down a dimly lit hallway that leads to the inside of the club. The closer we get, the more the music dominates my ears, and the more the ladies in front of me sway their boozed-up hips and shout their approval. Club craze is hopping, and it's not even officially open yet. This is just a soft run for Pete's sake. The only reason I even got us in here is because, after hearing about the upcoming opening, I went onto their website to do some research for work and stumbled upon an all-call to apply to have your private event. I never thought we'd get selected, but we did. I just hope it lives up to the hype. Once we reach the end, it opens into a big, wide-open space that's packed to the brim with club-goers, and a pretty blonde woman dressed in form-fitting, all-black attire greets us with a grin. So I can hear her over the pandemonium, I shove my way to the front of our boisterous group and lean in toward her as she speaks. If you ladies will follow me, I'll lead you to your private VIP room. Evidently, she's already been updated by the bouncers of our arrival. And I wave a hand back at the group to follow her lead. Carefully counting off ladies and sending them ahead of me to make sure we all stay together, I make it through all but one when something grabs the back of my coat and drags me in the opposite direction. What the? I shriek in the pitch of a dying cat. It doesn't matter, though, because the atmosphere in this place is so dang loud, I don't think the women of my party would have realized if a bomb went off behind them. My steps stutter and stammer as I fight to keep myself upright. The scent of my sister's perfume on my attacker, the only thing that keeps me calm. Before I know it, Belle's yanking me into the closest women's restroom. The instant the door shuts behind us, she up and locks the damn thing so no one else can get in. Soph, I can't do it, she whispers harshly into my ear before backing away toward the sinks and mirrors. What are you talking about? She's already shaking her head. I can't do it. You can't do what? I know I said I wanted the whole shebang for my bachelorette party, but I'm done. I jerk my head back in surprise. What do you mean you're done? I mean, I'm done. I can't let some greased-up stripper dance up on me in front of everyone. I blink several times, open and close my mouth like a fish, raise a finger to speak, and then drop it again. What in the ever-loving hell? Sophie, she says, and grabs both of my shoulders. I'm not joking around. If I have to go sit in that private VIP room while all my friends watch some dude rub his dick on my legs, I'll freaking shit myself. Or have a heart attack, or a brain aneurysm, or... Belle. I cut her off before she pushes herself into a panic attack. Take a breath. Calm down. Calm down, she repeats with stretched out, crazy eyes. I can't calm down. Soon, everyone in that stupid VIP room you rented will be watching me get dry humped by a stripper. I don't want to be a human pillow, or sock, or cum rag, or whatever. I can't do it. I can't. I'm pretty sure the politically correct term is exotic dancer. And it's not like he's going to jizz in your belly button. That's what backstage is for. Sophie, now is not the time to be a smartass. I snort. Listen, I don't want to be a bitch right now, but I feel it's important that I remind you that you said you wanted this. I remember it distinctly, actually. I change the pitch of my voice to mock her and continue, repeating her own words back to her. I just want to get crazy, Sophie. Live it up. This is my last hurrah. I know. She tosses both of her hands up in the air. I know. I thought I did, but I don't. I just want to go home and let John rub my feet. Belle. A shocked laugh pops from my lungs. Honey, we can't go home right now. Everyone came out tonight to celebrate with you, and our limo driver won't be here for another 3 hours. Plus, I'm pretty sure Tanya will throw a temper tantrum if she doesn't get to utilize all those dollar bills she brought with her tonight. You saw them in the limo. She has 300 of them stuffed into the cavern between her boobs. Belle huffs out a sigh and runs a hand through her dark hair. She's agitated, nervous, but she's also starting to consider what I'm explaining. At least, I think she is. You have nothing to be freaked out about. For one, you look gorgeous, I say, and turn her around by the shoulders so she sees her reflection in the mirror. And two, no one is judging you. Everyone here just wants you to have fun. That's it. And it's not like I paid the exotic dancer to give you a happy ending with his penis. Only dancing. I swear. I tease, trying to swing her emotions all the way back to where they started. But she doesn't even offer a smile. Out of the two of us, my sister is the introvert, and I'm more of the extrovert. It's probably why I'm in the business of event planning, and she's in the business of scouting out models to attend the events. She's never been fond of being the center of attention, always preferring to be a fly on the wall rather than the focus in the middle of the room. That's not to say she's not outspoken with people she's comfortable with. With Caitlin and her fiancé John and me, she's a brutal bringer of truth. But with friends and a complete stranger involved, forget it. Even growing up, I can't tell you how many times I ended up doing her oral presentations in class because the teachers could never tell us apart, and Belle's social fears were too much for her to stomach. It's the number one reason I asked her over and over again if she was sure she wanted this kind of bachelorette party. You know, one that included her being the center of attention in front of a crowd of people, one that took us to several New York hotspots throughout the night, and one that ends with her getting jiggy with a sexy, exotic, club-crazed dancer. And while Belle assured me numerous times that she did want this, I probably should have anticipated the night would lead us here anyway. I've known her my whole damn life, obviously. And this fits her MO a whole lot more than her telling me, I just want to get crazy, did. Honestly, at a time like this, I'm most thankful that she and John decided to keep their wedding small and intimate. A freak-out during your bachelorette party is one thing, but on your wedding day? Talk about no bueno. I meet her emerald eyes in the reflection in the mirror, but when she tilts her head to the side and starts tapping her chin in a familiar way I've seen 1,000 times, I furrow my brow. Why are you looking at me like that? She shrugs, but also grins. What are you scheming? That grin grows so wide it forces her red-painted lips to spread out across her face. Do you really want me to enjoy my bachelorette party? I roll my eyes. What kind of question is that? Of course I do. Like you really, really want me to, and you'd do anything to make it happen? I narrow my eyes at her in the mirror. Considering I gave you my very expensive event planning services for free and spent weeks planning this night, I'd say yes. That's a general sentiment. Fantastic, Belle responds, and takes off her black jacket, her white bride-to-be sash, and begins unzipping the back of her short, silver-sequined dress. Wait, what are you doing? I query, and turn my head away from the mirror to look directly at her. Making sure I live to see the morning after my bachelorette party. I quirk a brow, but she ignores my confusion and shoves her jacket and sash into my chest. Switch me, she demands, and slides her heels off her feet. You play bride for the rest of the night, and I'll play maid of honor and party planner. Belle, I retort and shake my head. No way. Sophie, she says, and slides her dress off her body so she's standing in the middle of the bathroom in only her bra and underwear. Yes. This feels like high school all over again, I mutter, and exhale a deep breath on a sigh. We're 28, Belle. Don't you think we're a little old to be parent-trapping your fucking bachelorette party? We're identical twins, Soph, she retorts, and takes it upon herself to remove my faux fur jacket from my shoulders. No one is going to know the damn difference. Caitlin will. Caitlin is too drunk to care. She snorts and holds out a demanding hand that contains her dress. Now, give me your clothes. I glance down at my favorite high-waisted dress pants and silky blouse, and then at the dress in her hands. You'd think since I've made a career out of planning parties and events, I would have been able to make sure my own sister's bachelorette bash went off without a hitch. But here I am, right in the middle of a giant fucking snag. When the sounds of pounding knocks filter in from the locked door of the restroom, I know I need to decide. And even though it's not the direction I wanted the night to go, there's really only one option here to keep things from spiraling out of control. Goddamn my Type 9 Enneagram people-pleasing core. You're lucky I love you. I snatched the dress out of her hands. Belle beams, just like a spoiled brat who got her way, because she is one. I swear, the things I do for my sister. All right, it's time for the bride-to-be to take her seat. The lights in our private VIP room are dimmed, and I'm ushered over to a chair that sits in the center of the small but spacious room. When my ass hits the velvet cushion, I try to adjust the tight material of Belle's dress, but it's almost no use. The sequin-covered spandex is tight in all the wrong places, and I feel like I might inadvertently flash my goods at any second. To the untrained eye, our bodies are nearly identical, just like our faces. But my T and A have a little bit more meat than hers, and in a dress of this cut, a little bit goes a long way. Good grief, for a girl who hates being the center of attention, my sister sure loves to dress in an attention-grabbing way. I flash a discreet glare at Belle, but she just giggles and lifts her champagne glass in the air. Cheers to the bride-to-be. My sister's a little biatch. Caitlin and the rest of our group join in on her toast, and I'm tempted to flip Belle the middle finger. But I shake off my annoyance and try to remember the fact that my sister looks relaxed and happy, playing me for the night, and that's the whole intention of this party, to make sure my twin has a good time. Even if it means I have to spend the next 60 minutes playing grab-ass with one of Club Craze's male exotic dancers. Ladies, I'd like to introduce you to Jude, our female hostess announces, and opens the door to reveal a man dressed in black slacks and a white button-down shirt with sleeves folded to his forearms. He's tall, and the muscular lines of his body can't be missed beneath his clothes. With light brownish blonde hair and a little scruff on his chin, this guy reminds me of a young Brad Pitt. I'm talking sexy Fight Club Brad Pitt mixed with Ocean's 11 Brad Pitt to create some kind of insanely attractive superhuman.
Good evening, ladies.
He flashes a sexy smirk that slides through the room and ultimately lands on my wide eyes.
As Kelsey said, I'm Jude, and I'll be taking over to make sure you have a good time.
I swear, those eyes of his are as blue as the freaking ocean, and their depths are downright hypnotic. It's like I can't look away even if I wanted to. Holy hell. Self-preservation in the form of distraction speeds up in my head, and somewhere in the whirling thoughts, a bell of recognition rings. I pull myself out of the insane trance of his eyes to focus on an inconsistency. I thought Maverick was supposed to... I start, only to pause when I realize my faux pas. I definitely shouldn't be the one asking this question since, technically, I'm Belle for the night, and every step of the itinerary has been a surprise for her. But luckily, no one picks up on the mistake. They're all too busy staring at Jude.
Unfortunately, Maverick realized he wasn't man enough to handle this party of beautiful women, so I went ahead and stepped up to the plate.
Jude winks, and I throw up in my mouth a little. By God, the cheesiness of that line knows no bounds. Our hostess snorts and nudges him in the side with her elbow, but he just laughs it off and moves his gaze back to me.
I take it you're the gorgeous bride-to-be?
He inquires with a little rasp in his voice. I swallow thickly, trying to find the words in my dry mouth like an animal searches for water in the desert. It only takes a few moments to give up, however, because despite my debut as a mime, he's striding right toward me. Each step is calculated and with purpose, and a shiver threatens to slip up my spine. "She sure is," Tanya shouts at the top of her lungs. "That's our girl Belle." Kirsten and Laura pretend to fan themselves. Caitlin laughs. Belle stares at me over the top of a glass of champagne with wide, amused eyes. With one long hand stretched out toward me and veins making themselves known on his forearms, Jude grips the fabric of the sash around my chest and smirks down at me.
You ready to have some fun?
Oh boy. Now that line or move isn't cheesy. At all. I nod, gulp, nod again. Uh-huh. And then He leans in closer to me, whispering directly into my ear.
Buckle up, gorgeous, because I'm going to make sure you have a good fucking time.
Oh, Mamma Mia. What in the weird Al Yankovic has Belle gotten me into?
2. Jude. Right on cue, Kelsey hits play on the music I selected about 30 minutes ago for tonight's role as Jude, the exotic dancer. After listening in on Maverick's instruction time about how to become an exotic dancer in 30 seconds or less, she insisted on being the one to host, just so she could get a load of what I looked like on the other side of the coin. Like a fucking episode of Undercover Boss. I'm not sure why I agreed, but if I'm honest, I'm not exactly ready to teach classes on the reasoning that led to accepting this little bet in the first place. I do my best to ignore the employee voyeur, but when she doesn't exit immediately, I pull back from the bride, do a spin, and hit Kelsey with a roll of my eyes that suggests she better scoot if she wants to live to see another paycheck. Finally, Kelsey steps out, a panicked yet elated smile painted on her lips, making me purse my own. I take a full deep breath for the first time to settle into my role of uninhibited dancer Jude. Maverick told me I needed to come up with a stage name, but there was no way in hell I was going to have these women calling me Fabio or some shit, and getting confused every time they screamed. They can call me Jude, just like the women I take to my bed. Thank you very fucking much. The first song on my list is by the one and only Pretty Ricky, and when the opening beats of Grind With Me start to echo inside the private room, I smirk to myself. Frankly, if I weren't so focused on making sure I beat Maverick at his own game, I might even laugh out loud over this. I mean, when I headed into work tonight, playing stripper for the evening didn't even cross my mind. Hell, if my 3 brothers knew what I was up to right now, they'd be begging these women to record it so they could razz my ass for the next 50 years. Also, I'm pretty sure Ty would keep it on hand for future blackmail purposes. Normally, I spend my weekends schmoozing the VIPs at whatever club my company is currently promoting, not engaging in the customer experience. But I'm no stranger to a wager. And to be frank, resisting them is kind of my weak point. The thrill, the excitement, the bragging rights that come with besting a challenge, they're better than any drug. I'm always up for a contest. And by tomorrow, Mav is going to have to cough up the dough when he realizes I can pull more tips than him in a night by a long shot. The women inside the private room start to form a half circle around the bachelorette sitting in the center, and they don't hesitate to squeal and shout their excitement. I work the room a little, gyrating my hips to the beat, and try to amp up the excitement of all the bachelorette's party friends by dancing and flirting with them a little. I don't give them much eye contact, though, reserving all of my looks for the bachelorette herself. She's gorgeous, so it's not even remotely a shock that some sappy bastard has decided to lock her down for life, even if marriage is a fool's game. I swerve and grind and mingle among the crowd, but when a tall blonde with a loud mouth gets a little too handsy, I smirk and gently excuse myself from her attention so I can pull all my focus on the most important woman in this room, Belle, the bride-to-be. Without delay, I stalk straight over to her, grip her thighs with my hands, and spread them wide so I can step in between them. She squeals, puts both of her hands between her legs to cover herself, and her beautiful emerald eyes expand when she looks up into my steady gaze. I wink and whisper toward her, "Don't worry, gorgeous. I won't peek." Slowly, I unbutton my white dress shirt, never once removing my gaze from hers, which, oddly enough, isn't a difficult task at all. No doubt, this woman is a fucking stunner. Big green eyes, full red lips, and the kind of long dark lashes most women would sell their souls for. She's the epitome of beauty, but it's not even by normal standards. She's just Striking. The kind of woman you can't just take one quick look at. No, she makes it hard to pull your eyes away from her. But beyond the outer layer beauty, something mysterious and intriguing lies below the surface. I'd like to think it means she has all sorts of dirty, sexy secrets that she's never told anyone about, but she's dying to find someone to spill them to. Pretty Ricky sings about taking your time, and once the buttons of my shirt are undone, I slide the material off my body and toss it over her head, so it's wrapped around the back of her chair. Swiftly, I tie the sleeves into a loose knot at the front of her chest, pinning her arms down at the sides of her body. It's a pretty comical move considering she already seems to be sitting on her hands, but it gets the gaggle of ladies worked up, to say the least. Dollar bills fly in the air as the women start cheering over the idea of their friend bound to a chair. The pretty goddess in front of me blinks rapidly and laughs, digging her teeth into her bottom lip in the sexiest fucking way. It's a hearty mix of nerves and embarrassment and excitement, and I'd be willing to bet that I'm not the only one who's experiencing a first-hand exotic dance for the first time. I smile back at her, running my tongue along my top lip in the hopes that she'll show me something new. It pays off as her eyes broaden and the vein in her neck starts to pulse at a rapid pace. Damn. Before I know it, I start to think about what she looks like when she's having sex. Is she completely uninhibited? Or is she adorably shy? Are her moans loud and uncontrolled, or soft as a whisper? Fuck. I probably shouldn't go there. I mean, she is someone's fiancée, not a single woman who isn't spoken for. But in a way, that makes it even more fun to play. There's no pressure of dealing with overdeveloped feelings, no chance that she'll grow attached and become clingy, no danger of coming on too strong and scaring her away. Coming on strong, in fact, is kind of the fucking point. I smile at the idea of toying with her, teasing her, taunting her. I've never been one for long-term commitment. But don't get me wrong, I'm also not someone who doesn't respect other people's vows. But there's a drastic difference in actually taking a woman who's already betrothed to bed, or simply making her fantasize about it. I move my hips to the beat of the music, slowly, seductively, and I don't miss the way Belle's breath gets tangled up in her lungs for a second or two longer than it should. It's a damn shame this woman is about to be someone's wife. Obviously, not for the guy she's about to marry, but for me. The two of us could definitely make magic happen between the sheets. I'm sure of it. When the song switches over to Lenny Kravitz singing about an American woman, the women in the room lose their ever-loving shit. Yeah, I knew this song would be a hit. I quirk an eyebrow at the bachelorette as I begin to unbutton and unzip my pants. She clenches her eyes shut, and I don't doubt, if it weren't for my shirt over her arms, she'd be covering her eyes with her hands. Maverick gave me shit when I refused one of his stupid banana hammocks and baby oil to grease up my muscles, but I knew that sticking with an au naturel look, without all the weird stripper shit, was far sexier. Women like strong men, real men, not a greased-up monkey. I shake my ass a little as I slide my pants down my legs, revealing my favorite pair of black Calvin Klein boxer briefs, and within seconds, I feel dollar bills being shoved into the bag of my underwear, followed by hoots and hollers. "Oh, yes, please. Hell yes. Take it off. I'm so jealous of you right now, Belly. Show us your cock." I chuckle at the last one, untie the knot at the front of Belle's chest, and lean forward to whisper into her ear. "Wrap your legs around my waist, gorgeous. It's time to really give your friends a show." She gasps as I lift her from the chair to the small stage in the corner of the room, flip her upside down, roll her to the floor, spread her legs, and do a spinning handstand in between them. As I fall to a push-up position over her body, she squeals, and the other women shriek as I put my head between her legs, careful not to touch anything, and blow. She shivers hard, really fucking hard, and my heart kicks up in my chest. Did she just... Holy shit.
3. Sophie. The water is cold and angry against my heated skin as I splash another handful on my face and lean into the Club Craze bathroom sink. Makeup be damned, I feel like my skin is on fire. Belle's in one of the stalls, happy as a clam, and for all intents and purposes, that should be a good thing. The only problem is, her happiness has come at my expense, and I am officially scandalized. Tell me, is it ever possible to recover from the shame of having orgasmed in public? Discreetly, I think. All because of the stupid exotic dancer I hired for my sister? Because if not, I won't bother sharing this with my therapist when we have our next session. Oh my God! Belle yells from the stall, her feet teetering on my heels as she tries to squat and hover over the toilet. I swear, if she pees on my one and only pair of Jimmy Choos, I will hex her so hard. Did you freaking see that guy? He bent you over backward and planted a baby in your womb through your dress. I swear to Jesus. Yeah, I saw. I comment on the absurdly obvious. But, thankfully, I didn't just see anything. I felt his heat and his heart thrumming in his chest and smelled the undeniably intoxicating subtlety of his cologne. I felt the stretch in my muscles as he manipulated my body left and right and sideways and upside down, all while somehow managing to make the ridiculousness of a male stripper seem sexy. The only time I could truly say I saw, I suppose, was during the out-of-body experience I had while he straddled my body in the 69 position and straight up sent me into purgatory. There I was, just hovering by the ceiling of the room like Mary fucking Poppins, and the kids when they go to have tea with the loopy guy, wondering if that was really my face under his superior crotch, or if it was all just a mirage. And then I had to go and fucking orgasm, like a teenage boy in the middle of a wet dream. I shake my head to clear it again, thanking my lucky stars that, in this situation, I was at least afforded the luxury of being a woman. No boner. No jizz-filled underwear, just a hard twist of arousal and a pair of damp panties. I swear he tossed you around like a rag doll. Yes, Sophie, I say, emphasizing my name instead of hers, just in case any other drunken members of our group found their way in here and into another stall while I was busy with my emotional breakdown. I'm well aware of everything Jude, the magic dancer, was. Thank you very much. She flushes the toilet and swings the stall door back toward herself, stumbling out into the open area and laughing hysterically at my revamp of Puff the Magic Dragon, one of our favorite songs as kids before cynics ruined it. I'm glad she's having a good time, but holy hell, I'm still shaking. And once I'm certain none of the gals from our group are in the bathroom with us, I give her the cold, hard reality. You owe me so freaking much, it's ridiculous. Pretending to be the bride at my sister's bachelorette party when I'm not even dating anyone would surely be something Dr. Winters would see as a setback. I know I owe you, I really do, but I would have died, okay? You know I would have died. And that would really complicate your use of my Costco membership, wouldn't it? I snort. Fine, but can we switch back now? Don't you want to enjoy the rest of the evening as the bride-to-be? Belle shakes her head almost violently and stands at the sink to wash her hands. She waves them obnoxiously in front of the automatic sensor several times, but still never manages to turn the faucet on. I lean forward and wave my hand in front of hers, bringing it to life. For some reason, she always struggles with that. No way. I've had a great time the whole night tonight, but I didn't realize how much better it is when no one is paying attention to me. Maid of honor is where it's at. And I can't go back now that I know how good it is here. Are you serious? I snap. Please, she begs, pretending to pout. I know it's not ideal for you, but pretty please with a cherry on top. Do this for me. I'll bake you however many cookies and cupcakes and cakes you want for the next 6 months. My sister is the baked goods goddess, and she knows I can't resist that kind of offer. Fine, I grind out, but if I were you, I'd invest in stock for flour and butter and sugar and shit because I'm going to run your ass like a factory worker. Whenever you want. John's really good with investments, so I'll make him figure it out. I laugh at her drunken seriousness. It's too hard not to, and finally pull her into a hug so I can whisper directly into her ear. I love you, Bells, but I also fucking hate you. She nods. It's the sage sister way. Well, 2 out of 3, I correct, knowing that Caitlin is the least drama-associated sister of the 3 of us. At 5 years our senior, she was always more of a disciplinary board than a defendant when it came to sage sister arguments. That's true, Belle agrees. I'm seriously surprised at how drunk Kate's gotten tonight. It's a real mom's night out kind of vibe. I roll my eyes. Like you should talk. You're drunker than she is. Yeah, but it's my bachelorette, she asserts. Immediately, I shake my head with a fake smile. Uh-huh. Not anymore, it's not. Thanks to you, the glory of tonight seems to be mine.
4. Jude. No matter what I do, I cannot get the sound and feel and look of the bride orgasming beneath me out of my head. For as talented as I am, I've never made a woman come without even touching her pussy before, and the rush of power I feel after having done it is exhilarating. But she's not just any woman. She's the bride of a bachelorette party I danced for as a stupid fucking bet. And apparently, as I stand in front of the mirror in the back dressing room, pressing my hands into the tabletop in front of me with the force of a superhero, I don't know how to cope with that kind of dichotomy. I can't pursue something like taking her home tonight. But for as much as I try, I can't seem to just forget about it either. The door to the dressing room cracks against the wall as it slams open, temporarily undiluting the thump of bass from the DJ's music. I crane my neck to see who it is, but when Maverick's jovial eyes lock onto mine, I wish I hadn't looked.
"Oh man, Jude, don't tell me it didn't go well,"
he remarks with entirely too much excitement. Clearly, he's misread the stress I'm carrying as being performance-related, and being the type of guy he is, and I normally am, frankly, he isn't hesitating to rub it in my face.
"Did the ladies not like what you had to offer?"
I shake my head and close my eyes briefly before spinning around to face him, crossing my arms over my chest and sinking my ass into the edge of the table. It went fine, I hear myself say, a huge understatement by any standards. Still, it doesn't seem right to disclose what I witnessed without the bride's permission, let alone to a big mouth like Mav. He'd eat it up, that's for sure, if he could even find it within himself to believe it. The truth is, it'll probably be much easier to pretend I flopped than contend with any of the other complications of the truth. The only problem, of course, with that plan of action is my ego. Fucking hell, I don't want to lose this bet when I really kicked its ass 5 ways to Sunday. But I can't bring myself to prove it either. It looks like Maverick might get to keep that $100 he owes me after all.
"You bombed, dude! I can see it written all over your face!"
he practically yells, crossing the room to slap me on the back. One more hard slap, and all the confessions about what really happened in that VIP room are liable to come up like vomit. Word vomit. I didn't bomb, I hedge, gritting my teeth against the urge to wring my own neck. I don't know what is wrong with me all of a sudden, or why I'm being such a pussy, but I don't like it one bit. But I am inexperienced in the ways of your profession, and the lack of training was obvious. Because I'm pretty sure making the women orgasm isn't part of the exotic dancer's handbook or official training video.
"I told you,"
he boasts cheerfully, slamming his palm into his locker and laughing. His muscles twitch obnoxiously as he holds his arms out to his sides and proclaims,
Everyone can't be as good as me, dude. It's just a scientific impossibility.
Somehow I manage a nod, even though the tension in my neck feels like it could snap it in two.
Well, I guess we're even on the money then, huh?
He says through a growing smile.
Too bad you had to double down on that shit, but I guess that's to be expected. Jude Winslow can never resist a bet.
He's right. Up until now, I wouldn't say I've ever had the impulse control to resist much of anything that comes with a temporary high or instant gratification. How is it, then, that I managed to stop myself from telling him all about how good I really am at his job? Back in my normal clothes, I stand at the window behind the DJ booth in the top office and scan the crowd of partying New Yorkers and tourists. The mood is up, the vibe is right, and club craze is an undeniable hit among the young and fabulous. Rainbow-colored lights strobe the dance floor, cascading over the writhing bodies of hundreds of co-eds as they experiment with heavy bodily contact. My gaze doesn't stay there for long, though. Instead, I'm drawn to the other side of the room, to the elevated booth where the bride-to-be and her group are congregated, sipping on drinks and falling drunkenly on top of one another while laughing. It's a diverse group of friends, ranging from crazy to quiet, but the bride at the center of it all is the one who commands my attention. I watch as she takes a sip of her drink before setting it down in front of her, and then laughs, her head thrown back and her throat exposed, when one of the other women launches her body on top of Belle. They shuffle a bit, eventually coming to a stop while sitting next to each other on the couch, and when they look up, I lean a little closer to the window and squint. Are they identical twins? I whisper to myself as I conduct my inspection. Obviously, having been in the VIP room with them before, I thought I would have noticed, but evidently my focus on the bride pertained to more than just dancing. The same proportions, the same features, the same bright lipstick-lined mouths. They are fucking identical twins. Suddenly struck by a twisted curiosity as to whether I react to them both the same way physically, and if the other twin is spoken for, I shove away from the window and make my way out of the office, down the stairs, through the back hallway, and out into the chaos of a lively club. It's kind of messed up, I'll admit, to be thinking of twins as exchangeable objects, but I can't fucking help myself. I don't know these women from Adam. All I know is that I've reacted to one I can't have, and the selfish part of me is completely unwilling to let the rest of the night slip by without seeing if there's something to be done about it. A backup plan, so to speak. The crowd jostles to the music as I push my way through, as inconspicuously as possible. Maverick is back at it, dancing in one of the floating cages above the dance floor to some of the best mixes Kiki's ever made. She's on fire tonight, and the crowd is responding in kind. The business side of me knows I should stop by the bar on my way over to the group to see how they're handling the onslaught, but the foolishly fixated part knows it's not an option. Maybe on the way back, but not yet. Not before I talk to the bride and her friends, and her identical twin again. Finally, through the dancing crowd, I readjust my suit jacket at my waist and hop up 2 steps at a time onto the elevated platform where their group resides. Several sets of eyes lock onto me, followed by even more catcalls and yells of a happy, drunken nature, and I feel the corners of my mouth lift into a smile.
Well, well, if it isn't Jude, the magic dancer!
The bride's twin cheers, making the other women hoot, and the bride herself blush and look toward the ground. I chuckle at the moniker, feeling a little emboldened by the obvious pat on the back it gives me. Is that what I'm supposed to go by from now on? I ask the woman whose sash reads Maid of Honor in big, glittery letters. I study her face closely, waiting for the deep burn in my gut that I get when I look at her sister to fire up. But it never does. No flutter, no butterflies, no intense arousal, no desire to find out all her dirtiest secrets. None of it. And yet, she looks exactly the fucking same. Given how little I know about these women, other than their looks, the rest of it shouldn't matter. But it does, goddammit. Why? Is it as simple as wanting what I can't have?
Yes,
the loudmouth blonde shouts at me excitedly.
Jude the Magic Dancer is a better high than any dragon I've ever puffed, and I wasn't even experiencing you firsthand.
She turns to the bride and demands wildly,
Tell us, Belle, what is it like to be that close to exotic royalty?
The rest of the girls dissolve into a cackle, and Belle's gaze jumps to meet mine with wide-eyed scandal, just as I'm running the feel of her name over my lips.
Belle,
I mouth, rolling the L's with the curl of my tongue. Her gaze flicks to my mouth and holds, her eyebrows pinching together slightly with a grimace. It's strange. I don't understand it.
Though I'm sure there are a lot of things you don't understand about a literal stranger, Jude.
I chastise myself. Belle's twin reaches over and squeezes her knee, visibly aware of her discomfort, so I change the subject. I don't want her to be embarrassed. Not at all. As a matter of fact, I'm almost alarmingly attuned to her emotions. I don't know. Maybe the unexpected act of intimacy we shared during my dance has bonded us in some strange way. Now, ladies, that's not actually the reason I'm here. I just came to check in and make sure you're all enjoying the rest of your night. Service is good? Drinks are plentiful?
You bet,
the girl with curly hair shouts, holding up her drink as evidence before taking a huge gulp. And what about you? I say directly to Belle, demanding her eyes with my voice in a way that makes them jump to mine almost violently. Having a good party? Everything you dreamed it would be? Her green eyes flash toward her sister before locking back onto mine, a small smirk curving up the perfect line of her red-stained mouth. You have no idea how different this is from what I pictured, actually. I laugh. Oh yeah? And what did you picture? She pauses briefly. You know, I'm not sure, but I thought I'd do a lot more dancing. Without thought, I take an extra step into the platform, breaking the barrier of the circle of gals, and reach across the table in front of her. Belle looks at my hand like it'll slink out and bite her if she reaches for it. Still, I've come this far, so there's not much point in turning back now. Come on, I cajole. If you want more dancing, let's do more dancing. Her twin nods furiously, elbowing her in the side so many times that Belle finally jumps up just to escape the onslaught of pain. After a little more vibing from the group, she puts her hand in mine and makes her way around the low-set table to stand in front of me. Her short dress hugs the long, lean lines of her body, and the neckline dips into a V between her breasts. They might not be as obvious if she weren't breathing like a chain smoker at the end of a marathon, but to be honest, I'm not so sure. For some reason, I can't stop noticing everything about her. One dance, I say next to her ear, just to get you started. I promise it won't be like the last one. Her heart kickstarts from a jog to a gallop, shooting a surging pulse through even the veins in her hand. It gives me a thrill on the inside, but externally I ignore it. What do you say? I add when she doesn't answer. With a nod and a swallow, she moves around me, her hand still in mine, and heads for the dance floor, while her friends yell and cheer behind her. They're locked into the good times of the party, so I'm not surprised that they haven't seemed to notice whatever is going on between their bride and me. But I'm not going to be the one to tell them. As far as I'm concerned, once she leaves here tonight, I'll never come back to thinking about it again. Not only is she off limits, but I'm not that kind of a guy. I don't need one woman to occupy my thoughts. I've got several. Right?
5. Saturday, February 24th. Sophie. Jude leads me to the dance floor, his arm cocked back to keep my clammy hand locked in the palm of his. Seeing him decked out in a suit is like a whole different attack on my nervous system, and it's all I can do to force myself to swallow my saliva every few seconds, rather than choking on it. A slow beat pounds from the oversized speakers next to the DJ's booth on the other side of the club, and every vibration hits me square between the legs. I'm swollen and sensitive, just as I'd be after actual sex, and nobody's even touched me. I swear tomorrow I'm going to have to see if anyone else remembers anything from tonight, or if this is all just a freaking weird dream. Jude spins without unlocking our hands when he finds a small hole in the crowd in the dance floor and pulls my body toward him with a jerk. I hit him on a hard stop, all his muscles feeling like the smooth surface of a large boulder beneath my hands. For as much as we've already been through together tonight, this is the first time I've touched his body with my palms. My mind races to figure out if it's wrong to be doing this, given that I'm not really the bride-to-be, but am just pretending to be. But we're swaying to the beat with his thigh between my own before I even come close to landing on a conclusion. There's no time to question, no time to wonder. It's all I can do to keep up with the normal bodily functions required for survival.
What do you think, Belle? Is this more like what you had in mind?
For my bachelorette party? No, I'd say not. Ha! I watch as his pulse thrums peacefully at the side of his tanned neck and... Sophie! Hello! With muddy recognition of my name, I snap my head up on a jolt, and the bouquet in my hands jostles accordingly. Strobing lights I once saw with the vividity of reality fade away, and my sister's sternly bridal face takes their place. I would have sworn on the dang Bible 2 seconds ago that I was still back in club craze, dancing with a freaking exotic dancer I had no business dancing with, given that he thought I was Belle and engaged to be married. But no, strange as it seems, I'm apparently at my sister's wedding, having a possible psychotic episode. I gulp down a huge batch of air, trying to catch my thoughts and shove them back into the deep recesses of my brain so that there's room for reality. Belle is getting married, right now, today. We're moments away from the actual wedding, and I haven't seen Jude, the magic dancer, in a week. It's time to get a grip. Sheesh, I can't wait to fill Dr. Winters in on this one. Geez, Soph, I've been calling your name for at least a minute. Are you having a stroke or something? I shake my head to clear it, and then smile like the dutiful maid of honor I am. I don't think so. Not that I know what one feels like. It's entirely possible I am, I suppose. I'm definitely acting crazy enough. Good. Belle huffs. I mean, this is my day after all. I roll my eyes at my twin's uncharacteristic dramatics. Lack of sympathy for a potential stroke victim is pretty callous, I'll admit. But in my line of work, I've seen many a bride go temporarily insane on the big day. Why should it be any different for my twin just because we share DNA? Of course. I'll delay my medical emergencies accordingly. Belle glares, and I bite my lip to silence a chuckle. The truth is, after the amount of time and physical labor my event planning company put into this wedding, I'd sweep my own body to the side and declare that the show must go on from the afterlife if I needed to. Girls, please, can we not even have a wedding without the two of you sniping at each other? Our mother, Katerina, asks from her spot at the ironing board in the corner of the room. Our dad Anthony's pants are in her hands, and she's working on them furiously. That, of course, begs the question of where exactly my father is without his pants, but I really don't want to know, so I don't ask. How long do we have? I'm starting to sweat through my deodorant, Belle remarks, making me laugh. She's a pain in my ass, but I love her more than anyone else in the world. There's a special kind of bond that comes with being a twin sister, half devotion, half loathing, and another completely unexpected 50% dedicated to an understanding so deep no one else will ever comprehend. Our mother refers to it as sniping, but in reality, it's all just a special part of our dynamic. Normally, she ignores it, but since our parents moved back to Miami, we don't see them as much as we used to. As a result, I think Katerina feels an extra need to mother us when she's around. I glance down at the slim gold watch on my wrist that Belle gifted all her bridesmaids and calculate the time. It's her big day, and she's anxious, so I'll do my best to be understanding. Just about 10 minutes to go. Last time I checked in with Julie, she said the groomsmen were getting themselves together to head into the atrium. Pretty sure you mean popping mints to cover the smell of all the alcohol they've been drinking, our elder sister Caitlin says from her spot on the couch. She's been married for 5 years already, and apparently she gets it. I laugh. She's pretty spot on, to be honest. That, among other things. You wouldn't believe how many grooms I've had to make switch pants with one of their groomsmen at the last minute because of a stain. Oh, yes, I would. Belle interjects. John is an actual attractant for sauces. I swear. Somehow, you can see stains on even his black stuff. I told him he's going to have to take all his shit to the dry cleaners if he wants our marriage to last. She may be cracking jokes, but her hands are shaking, and I know my sister better than anyone. She's nervous as hell, and all this talk is just her way of trying to cover it up. I step closer, handing off my bouquet to Tanya, who stops fluffing her boobs to take it, and pull Belle gently into my embrace. "You're getting married, sis," I whisper with a smile. "I'm so happy for you." Her eyes are wide and innocent as she breathes. "I love him so much, but I'm terrified, Soph. What if it doesn't work out, or we start to hate each other, or—" "Belle," I interrupt calmly, cupping her cheek with my hand. "John loves you. You're going to fight and quibble and disagree sometimes, but I know you're going to work out." "Really?" she asks hopefully. I smile. "Really. And if not, I have a feeling I'm going to look damn good in an orange jumpsuit."
6. Jude. Hands full with beer, I bang on the front door with my foot and wait for one of my family members to answer my call. After Winnie assigned me the role of beverage bitch for Uncle Brad's birthday shindig, I went all out and got 7 30-packs of beer, 5 cases of soda, a case of water, and a big jug of wine for the moms. Evidently, something happens to women after giving birth that makes their bodies need wine to survive. At least, that's what I've been told. I'm not sure what brand I got, but with these lushes, I figured quantity was better than quality. As it is, I'll have to make several trips back to the trunk of my Audi A4 to get the remainder of the drinks. Living in the city, I don't drive a ton, but knowing I'd be hauling this much stuff, using my car was a necessity. When the door finally swings open, a woman I don't recognize at all smiles and swings her arm gallantly into the house. She's got a frisky little blonde haircut and dark brown eyes, but I don't have one fucking clue who she is. I lean back to check the numbers on the house. Yep, this is my mom's place, and then glance back to her with furrowed brows. "Hi," she says then, smiling again, but this time it's a bit self-consciously. Hi." I want so badly to ask who the fuck she is, but when she reaches out to take the cases of beer from my arms, I think better of it. At least she's helping, unlike the rest of my no-good family. "Stay here," I tell her instead. "I've got more shit to carry." She nods and I have to laugh as I walk the distance back to my car. You never really know what to expect at a Winslow gathering, I swear. I grab another load and repeat the process, until finally, the mysterious blonde and I have all the drinks inside the front hallway. Feeling a little like we share a bond now, I'm just about to ask her name when my brother Ty comes strutting toward us, and she clings to him like a fucking magnet. Ah, okay. Now this is making sense. Ty has brought yet another completely random woman to a family gathering, thus garnering false hope in her heart. At the least, she'll be gone by the weekend, wondering how things got shifted so quickly from meeting the family to ending. I shake my head. Poor fucking sap. She has no clue that this isn't special, that my brother hasn't warmed to her with an unmatched connection. Unfortunately, bringing women around the family is just something he does for the fuck of it, I suppose. Truthfully, I don't know the real psychology behind it, but that doesn't change the facts. Ty Winslow is a serial dater, with just as much contempt for commitment as the rest of us Winslow brothers, and that won't be changing anytime soon. Thanks for the help, I tell her, not bothering to ask her name. Her voice is a little tentative, and a little confused as she tells me I'm welcome. And I get it. I'm coming across as super rude, given the visual of what she thinks is going on. But to be honest, this is just par for the course with Ty, and the less I play into this girl's hope, the better off she'll be. I shove Ty in the shoulder as a nonverbal gesture of how big of a fucking idiot he is, and he just smiles, the bastard. I roll my eyes and head down the hall toward the kitchen, the cluck of all the hens loud enough to invade my ears long before I get there. My mom, Wendy, my Aunt Paula, my sister Winnie, and Aunt Paula's longtime friend Bev all stand at the kitchen island, working on various food trays and laughing hysterically. "Ladies!" I greet enthusiastically, throwing my arms in the air and soaking in all of their responding smiles. They giggle as I work my way around their campfire, kissing them each on the cheek, and even going so far as to give Bev a small slap on the butt. She's a super funny lady with a raspy smoker-style laugh, widowed 3 years ago, and I like to keep the spice alive in her life. Wendy Winslow, of course, hates it quite a bit. "Jude!" my mom chastises as Bev blushes, and Aunt Paula and Winnie both giggle some more. Sorry, I apologize, lifting both of my hands in the air defensively. I just can't help myself. "I don't mind," Bev affirms, smiling like the cat who got the cream. I wink, and the ladies dissolve in a titter again. "God, please help my son," my mom pretends to pray, lifting her eyes heavenward. "One day, I pray that he be blessed with impulse control." I chuckle and shake my head before placing another kiss on my mom's cheek. "Sorry, Ma, but I don't think it's going to happen if it hasn't already." "Get out of here," Winnie says playfully, dropping her foodstuffs to shove me in the shoulder toward the back door. "You're better off out at the grill with the men, where there's no code of conduct." I agree with a salute and a bow, and then tuck out the spring-loaded back door as quickly as possible. Trust me, those women are the light of my life, but I'm much better suited to hanging out with the men of the family any day of the week, even if it is cold enough to freeze my nuts off out here. "Hey! Yo! Jude!" the guys all yell as I step out onto the porch, and Uncle Brad smiles at me before thumping his palm on the back of my head. "Hey, what was that for?" I cry, scooting away quickly while Flynn and Remy both laugh ruthlessly at my expense. My brother-in-law Wes smiles, but at least he has the decency to keep his hilarity on the inside. "For the gift you got me?" my uncle answers, shooting me with something red and lacy like it's a slingshot. After a quick juggle, I hold it up curiously, and then I drop it like a hot potato when I discover it's a woman's thong of unknown origin. "What? That's not... Uncle Brad!" I stammer, making Remy nearly choke on his beer as Ty comes walking out the back door to join us. "I think there's been a misunderstanding." "Yeah," Uncle Brad agrees. "I bet. You know, I think I might know what happened." "Oh yeah?" I ask, swallowing nervously. No matter what, I don't think there's a good way for me to get out of this. "Yeah, see, I think you deflected on the gift picking altogether and expected your sister to get something for you. And, in a brilliant move of revenge, this is what she chose." I chuckle uneasily and glance to my 3 brothers as they laugh behind their beer bottles. I'm immediately suspicious. "What the fudge? Why am I the only one getting crucified?" "Remy, Flynn, and Ty all got me gifts of their own. Nice ones," Uncle Brad says, illuminating the depth of my siblings' betrayal. "I thought we had an understanding," I exclaim at the traitors. "We did," Remy hedges, while Ty snickers. "An understanding that we were all willing to let you bury yourself on this one." Ty reaches out to high-five him, and I lift up my middle finger, swinging it wildly toward them all. I hate every single one of you. I pause on Ty and give him another middle finger for good measure, emphasizing, especially you. Me? What did I do? Give me a break, dude. Do you really not realize the torture you're putting all these women through? His eyebrows draw together and he laughs. You mean Stephanie? I shrug hugely. I don't have a clue, dude. I don't know her name because we never know their names. Why do you always insist on bringing these randos to family shit? What? I'm not supposed to bring women I'm dating to family get-togethers now? Even Flynn scoffs at that. Come on, Ty. You're not dating her. Sleeping with her, maybe. All right, enough. Uncle Brad interrupts. And Ty, bring whomever you want. I, for one, have actually started to get some enjoyment out of it. Remy, Flynn, Wes, and I look at Uncle Brad curiously, and he just shrugs. What? Paula and I started a running pool for names.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.